right, so our next lecture is going to be by Elna McKenzi from South Africa, and she's going to be speaking on Cara Karaka replacement, temporary significator replacement. Am I right? Welcome, Elna.
Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe a bit unusual to see Europeans speaking about Vedic astrology, so I hope I can do it justice. It's tradition to begin with a prayer to Lord Ganesh to ask for his blessings, so please join me. Gananam tva ganapatigum havamahe kavim kavinam upamashravastamam jeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anashrinvanu tibisida sadhanam. According to the Vedic system, there are three primary gods that are responsible for the manifestation of creation, sustenance, and dissolution. They are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Maheshvara. They're also connected to the primordial sound Om. And there are three types of Karaka, or the doers or controllers, that's connected to them as well. The natural attributes of the planets are referred to as the Naisargika Karaka, and the Stira Karaka are the fixed significators. They determine the state and the longevity of a body, and they directly link to the 5 elements. The 7 planets from Sun to Saturn are included in the scheme, and not the nodes of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, as they are shadow planets and don't have bodies. So they can't be used to determine the longevity or the survival of a physical body. The Cara Karaka that we're going to talk about are the temporary significators. Now, Cara means that which is movable or changeable. They determine the karma that's associated with the soul in this life, and also what makes one person different from another. The temporary significators are determined according to their longitude, and they have a fixed order and will change from lifetime to lifetime. And there are 2 schemes, a 7 Cara Karaka scheme and an 8 Cara Karaka scheme. Now, I know there's astrologers in India that differ about the having 8 Cara Karaka scheme, but my teacher teaches that Parashara believes in both Jaimini and Parashara believes in both schemes. The 7 Karaka scheme is used for inanimate material creation, and the 8 Cara Karaka scheme is used for living beings that have individual souls. And it includes the planets from Sun to Saturn, but the 8 Cara Karaka scheme also includes Rahu, because Rahu is defined as the planet that's responsible for rebirth. So he's included as one of the Cara Karaka. And Ketu, being the Moksha Karaka, as a planet, is not included in either of the schemes. Okay, in Sanskrit, the word planet means graha, which means to grab. So that means that the planets have the ability to catch hold and have control over the elements and the qualities they represent. So if we look at the luminaries, Sun and Moon, and the 5 planets, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus, and Saturn, they're connected to the process of creation. And the attributes given to the planets represent the physical, mental, intellectual, and emotional qualities, as well as the individual people who contribute to your purpose in life. Rahu and Ketu are the link between birth and death, because Ketu is responsible for the final emancipation from the cycle of life and death. Now, the 8 Cara Karaka, as I say, they've got a specific hierarchy And it starts with the Atma Karaka, who's the true self or the king. And that will be the planet with the highest longitude. Then it goes to the next lower in longitude is the Amatya Karaka, or the advisor or minister, and then the Bhattacharjee, who's the guru or the brother. And these three are people playing the role in realizing your soul's purpose. Then follows the Matrikaraka, who's the mother, the Pitrikaraka, father, and Putrakaraka, children. They are the people playing a role in fulfilling your desires. And then lastly, we've got the Nyatikaraka, that are your relatives, and Dharakaraka, your spouse, or it's also related to wealth. And these are the people that are the object of your desires. Now, in the 7 Karaka scheme, because we use it for inanimate objects, the Matrikaraka and the the Matrikaraka and the Putrakaraka merges, because inanimate objects can't have children. So the Matrikaraka and the Putrakaraka will merge into one. Okay, firstly we look at the Atmakaraka, because the Atmakaraka is king in a chart. So Cara Karakas change depending on one's life purpose. They indicate the areas and the people involved around which most of your karma will resolve. The Atmakaraka controls one's life, and it also highlights the internal nature of a person. And the placement of the Atmakaraka must always be seen in relation to the other Karaka. Any negativity that burdens the soul are lessons that will be taught by the Atmakaraka. And problems with the Atmakaraka will bring suffering on a soul level. And beneficial combinations will support and sustain the Atmakaraka. So the sign where the Atmakaraka is placed will give us a clue to what the soul desires. And the quality of the Atmakaraka shows the true nature and spiritual development of a person. Planets conjunct the Atmakaraka will obviously modify the outcome. And the Lord of the Nakshatra is important because depending on who is the Lord of the Atmakaraka, it will influence the way in which how the Atmakaraka expresses itself. And the dashas are the periods where a lot of karma is burnt. So the Atmakaraka preferably must be strong to support the ascendant and the ascendant Lord to produce positive results. If the Atmakaraka is combust, it means that there could be a lot of or great spiritual insight, a lot of spiritual development for the person. But there could be a lot of suffering on a mundane level. So especially if the Atmakaraka is conjunct the natural ruler, the sun. Also when the Atmakaraka is retrograde, there can be a deep-rooted desire to fulfill a particular destiny. So you need to look at the planets in the Rashi chart, which is the natal chart, as well as the D9 or the Navamsha chart. An afflicted Atmakaraka will bring suffering on a soul level throughout your life. And the timing of suffering and great achievements will be shown by the dasha of the planet at the time. Because the Atmakaraka is the planet with the highest longitude, it's often at the end of the sign, and these can present a lot of challenges in life. Okay, now if we look at the natural significators for the Atmakaraka, the sun is the universal soul. It's the king, it's your ego, it's father, it's people in authority, leaders or heads of state. The moon is the mind, emotions and feelings, compassion, mother, ministers, advisors, and the masses in general. Protection, courage, ambition, competition, activity, determination, siblings, and brother falls under Mars. And if Mercury is the Atma Karaka, then intelligence, comprehension, communication, uncles and relatives are the most important. Jupiter is knowledge, it's the guru, it's spirituality, it's your husband, it's children. Venus relates to pleasure, love, sensuality, relationships, and it's a wife. Saturn is sacrifice, austerity, suffering, sorrow, renunciation, servants and associates. Rahu are your desires, it's excessive compulsive behaviors, and it represents all borders. Now, if we look at Rahu and Ketu, we see that they are only visible during an eclipse, and they're the darkness that surround the sun or moon during this time. Rahu has no body and forms the head of the celestial snake and represents a sarpa. I don't know what's the translation for sarpa other than snakes. But Ketu has no head and forms the tail of the celestial snake, and Ketu represents the nagas. And the nagas are full of knowledge. So the sarpas are more negative than the nagas. Reincarnation and moksha, or liberation, is controlled by the nodes of the moon. And Rahu Ketu access will show the struggles that each incarnation brings. Physical consciousness is dominated by the mind, and Rahu represents our desires, hopes, and dreams. And therefore Rahu can be very good on a physical level, but not Ketu. On a superconscious level, the mind, the moon, is fighting Rahus so as not to create more karma. Ketu at this level can lead you to freedom from the cycles of life and death. Rahu is a great manipulator, it's a strategist, the planner and politician. Rahu loves freedom because of being an air element. It likes to shock, it's never satisfied, it's shadowy in nature. Fears and phobias are typical behavioral patterns. Rahu represents anything foreign, people, countries, and also rules drugs, poisons, diseases, metaphysical subjects such as witchcraft. Ketu is idealistic, fiery nature, it seeks perfection and has a fear of rejection. It has a tendency to live in the past, not wanting to experience the present. It likes to delve into the mysteries of life. It's a wanderer and has no material attachments. Its aim is spiritual realization. Ketu represents flag, aesthetics, imprisonment, magical powers, mysticism, clairvoyance, accidents, and poverty. If we look at the significators of the planets and what they represent, we see that the father is represented by either the sun or Venus in a chart, whichever is stronger, and the mother by the moon or Mars, again, whichever is stronger. Your younger brother, sister, or sister-in-law is represented by Mars, your aunts and uncles and maternal relatives by Mercury, paternal grandparents, older brother, children, and husband by Jupiter, daughter, sister, wife, material grandparents, and in-laws by Venus, and your older brother or your elder siblings by Saturn. Okay, now, according to Parashara, each house is ruled by a planet, and there's primary significations. The first house is ruled by Saturn, the second, fifth, ninth, and 11th house by Jupiter, the 3rd house and the 6th house by Mars. 4th house is ruled by the Moon. 7th house by Venus. 8th and 12th house by Saturn. And 10th house by Mercury. Then we have the secondary significators. The 4th house of learning would be Mercury. The 6th house, Saturn, for disease. 9th house, the Sun, which represents the father. And then in the 10th house, we have the Sun, which represent work. Saturn would be the effort you put in at work, and Jupiter, the success you achieve in your work. Now, if we look at the Cara Karaka and their rulers in a chart, we see that every Cara Karaka is a source of light for each and every house. So for the Lagna or the ascendant, the 1st house, we see that the Atma Karaka rules the 1st house. The physical light for the 1st house is Surya, the sun. But behind Surya stands Narayana or Vishnu, and that gives you the internal light in a chart. And just to look at the Atma Karaka, say in the 8th house, that is the ability of the soul to transform itself. Bhattacharjee rules the 9th house, which is Bhattacharjee being the teacher would be either the guru or your it's higher learning, it's your teacher. But it also rules the 11th house of your elder brother, which in India particularly, the elder brother is seen as also your teacher, your advisor. In the 3rd house, it's the guru or guru padesha, your ability to listen to the guru. The only one really in dispute is the 12th house, which is given to the Matrikaraka. Now, normally 12th house is the moksha house, and you'd think it hasn't got a karaka. But each house represents a person. So Matrikaraka is probably the best person to allocate to the 12th house, because the mother is the one that leads you from birth to death. It's like a river flowing from Cancer to Pisces in the sea. Mother's also the one that puts you to sleep at night, and 12th house is the house of sleep. Okay, now we've already spoken about the hierarchy of the planets. So in this chart, it's just an example. You can see that the moon is at the highest longitude at 24 degrees 12, so that becomes the Atma Karaka. And Venus, the next one down in longitude, is the Amatya Karaka, and so on. Now Rahu is always moving backwards, so because it's moving backwards, you would calculate it from the end of a sign. So you would deduct the longitude of Rahu from 30 degrees. So we find here that Rahu becomes the Putra Karaka. As I've already mentioned, there's the two schemes, the 7 Karaka scheme and the 8 Karaka scheme. In the 7 Karaka scheme, it includes planets Sun to Saturn. Rahu is not included unless there's a Karaka replacement. It's used for non-living entities, and the Putra Karaka merges with the Matri Karaka. In the 8 Karaka scheme, Rahu is included. It's used for living beings, and Rahu is included in the scheme. Ketu is not included in either of the two schemes. So Karaka replacement happens when 2 or more planets are at the same degree, and the planet at the lower degree will replace the role of the planet at the higher degree, and you take minutes and seconds into consideration. And they applicable to all the Cara Karaka, not just the Atma Karaka. And where the Cara Karaka is being replaced, it shows the area of life where major upheavals is expected to occur. And the vacant slot that is created by the loss of one or more of the Cara Karaka, when a Cara Karaka with a lower degree takes over the role of the Cara Karaka with a higher degree, is replaced. Firstly, in the 7 Cara Karaka scheme, the slot that falls vacant is always replaced by Rahu, firstly. If there's more than 2 planets at the same degree, the second replacement will be replaced by the fixed significator. The 8 Cara Karaka scheme is always replaced by the fixed significator. Okay, now I've got a couple of charts as examples to show you. I don't know if you know Oscar Pistorius. He was a South African paraplegic gold medalist at the Olympic Games. He shot his girlfriend. He was at the height of his career when he shot his girlfriend. So he's quite a good example to use. Here you can see that the Atma Karaka is replaced by Mercury. And the Amatri Karaka, the advisor, is replaced by Jupiter. So Mercury is retrograde. I don't know if you can see from there. Mercury is retrograde in the 10th house. And because the Amatya Karaka is replacing the Atma Karaka, it always means that your area of work is involved. So his work becomes far more important than, than his development of his soul or his spirituality. You can also see that Mercury in the Navamsha chart is debilitated in the 10th house. But the main thing is that we can see is that there's danger to his partner. Actually, what I wanted to mention as well, you can see the anger of Surya, the reason why he hasn't got any legs. Surya is with Saturn in the 11th house. It rules the 8th house, which is a Dustana house. His mother, at the age of 11 months, decided to amputate his legs so that he had the opportunity to walk with prosthesis rather than be bound to a wheelchair all his life. But then he also has the blessing of the Divine Mother, because Moon is in its own sign in the 7th house, which means it's the promise of wealth and fame. Jupiter and Rahu is in a parivartana, so Jupiter will act like its own sign, Pisces in the 3rd house, and Rahu like Aquarius in the 2nd house. So we can see that Rahu is his Cara Karaka. Oh, this doesn't work. Mars is his Cara Karaka. And we've got the aspect of, or the association of Rahu with that Mars-Jupiter combination. Rahu aspects the Saturn-Sun combination, and it also aspects the 7th house. So there's definite danger to a partner. And if we look at and Mars also by Graha Drishti aspects Ketu and the Aruda Lagna in the 9th house. And if we look at the D9 chart, we see that Ketu is conjunct the Sun in the 3rd house. So there's a lot of aggression as well in his chart. Mercury, not only is it debilitated in Pisces in the Navamsha chart, it's in Swati Nakshatra, which is ruled by Rahu. And Rahu is Saturn is the planet. His ascendant ruler is going to deliver karma in this life. Okay, on the 14th of February 2013, he shot his girlfriend 3 times through the bathroom door, and she died of a head wound. Now again we see the Cara Karaka being replaced. Now if the moon or the sun is involved in the replacement, there's always huge danger. And the role of the Bhattacharjee is replaced by Rahu. And if you look at the Panchanga of the day, which is, I'm not too sure what the English word for Panchanga is, but it's like the position of the planets of the day. We see that the moon was in Shukla Chaturthi, which is the waxing phase of the 4th day of the moon. The nakshatra was Revati, and the Vara is ruled by Mercury. The Vara is the day. So we see here that there's I'll be quick now, there's a fire and water problem with the Panchanga. And Rahu aspecting the Sun, Mars and Mercury would also indicate a curse. And in the D9, Mercury's Sun is debilitated, but Rahu is exalted. And the transit of the moon through Pisces is probably the most dangerous. And if you look at his chart, Sagittarius was the ruler of his 12th house. And that is the lagna of this house when she was murdered. I'm going to skip this. Okay, second chart I'm looking at is the launch of the Titanic. Here again we see that the Atmakaraka is replaced by the moon and Rahu comes into the picture. So that spells disaster in this chart. Venus brings Rahu into the picture, and Venus is the ruler for vehicles and also safe journeys, is aspected by Mars and Saturn. Sun is in the ascendant. It is also ruler of the 22nd Rekana, and it's ruler of the 5th house. So the Sun becomes a terrible malefic, and the ship can be seriously damaged. The 12th house of loss and long-distance travel has Saturn, Mercury, and Rahu in it. And it aspects, the malefic aspects on Jupiter in the 6th house, so Jupiter is also not very happy there. So with Mercury in the 6th house can also mean sudden losses, material, with the ship going down. There was a lot of financial losses. When it went on its maiden voyage about a year later in Jupiter-Venus Dasha, we see the combination of Venus, Sun and Rahu in the 8th house, confirming that the ship could be heading for a major disaster. Ketu in the 2nd house in Virgo means the breaking up of solid structures. And there's a Mars-Venus Parivartana as well. Okay, this chart is where the Titanic actually struck the iceberg. Now, if I can just go back, we look at the 3rd house from the Aruda Lagna. Either that house or the 7th from it will show, a major sort of event happening. That will be the timer for when the moon goes through that house. And we see here that the moon was transiting into Pisces in the 6th house with Venus and Rahu at the time. And we also notice that Mars and Mercury is exactly the same degree, and there's a Mars-Mercury Parivartana again. And there's a Rahu aspect on Aries, Scorpio, Virgo, and Cancer. Okay, when the Titanic sank, the way we calculate the lagna at the time of sinking is looking at trines to the Mrityupada, which is the Aruda of the 8th house. And you can see the 8th house here was Jupiter. And the Aruda Lagna of the 8th house is Leo. So the Titanic sank on Sunday, the 15th of April, 1912. So, I think you could possibly look at Western charts and see if it would give you the same results. My personal feeling is when using this technique, it's probably better to use it for specific events or, to see the outcome of it, whether it's going to survive or not survive. Not many people use this technique, but it's worth exploring. Okay, Om Tat Sat. Thank you.